Good morning, friends. I hope you're having a great day out there in your gardens. It's about 11 a.m. now. It's a cloudy, cold day. We had our first frost, and what I've been doing this morning is I've been digging tons of ditches and planting all different kinds of bulbs. I have a Muscari river going over in Grace's garden, lots of different bulb mixtures, perennial and annual bulbs mixed together in the main flower walk that I want to show you. But I want to start back here by the garden library because we have these 6 new beautiful planters from Henry's studio. I have them decked out for the holiday season, and I have them underplanted with secret spring gardens. So let's just dive right into today's video. These are the Avanti 2 Como, Mezzo, and Primo pots from Henry's studio. Now you might recall that we have the alfresco and terrain fountain from Henry's studio, and I absolutely adore Henry's studio. If you've never purchased from them before, the way that it works is that they sell through independent garden centers. So you can go on the Henry Studio website, you can type in your zip code, and it will bring up all of the locations that sell Henry products. So if you live near me, Stauffer's of Kissel Hill sells Henry Studio products, and I think I saw the alfresco fountain there for the first time, or maybe at Ken's Gardens. So Gracie wants to show you what we put in the pots. Oh, she actually wants to steal a pine cone. So let's do a little planter tour. Grace has already been stealing these pine cones and running all around the garden, playing with them, and I think even hiding them. She's like a little squirrel with pine cones. So we have the Nellie Stevens holly. I just made a nest with Nellie Stevens and then put some pine cones in there. For the second one, which is the Avanti 2 Mezzo planter, I did Cryptomeria, and I think that looks so beautiful just hanging over the side. And then I took a bunch of willow branches that are found over in the driveway garden, and I tried to make almost I guess a globe or a nest, and then that's all lit up with fairy lights. It does look pretty cool at night. And then in the largest pot, which is the Avanti 2 Como, we have steeplechase arborvitae, some fake berries, and we also have red twig dogwood. And prior to sticking all of these branches in the urns, I went ahead and planted Princess Irene and Big Love tulips from Longfield Gardens 8 inches down in these planters. Now here in my zone 7A garden, I can just leave these planters outside all throughout the winter season. Also, these pots are nice and big. They're made of a strong, sturdy material. So that's another reason why I can just leave them outside in the garden. If I was going to plant tulips in my zone in a very small plastic pot, that's when I might want to think about putting that type of pot in an unheated shed or an unheated garage over the winter season. But here in 7A, that's not something that we need to do. And what I've read is that as long as the pot is 2 by 2 feet tall and wide, you're safe to leave it outside in this zone. Let me know how it works in your zone, because I'm never 100% sure how it is growing tulips in pots in different zones. There's so many different variables, but what I will say is if you want to leave your pot outside over the winter season and you're in a similar zone, go with a big, strong, heavy, thick walled pot, and then you should be able to leave it outside. Now, I used to live in a zone 6A, and we could do the same thing there. So let me know, what's the cutoff point in terms of zone where you do have to store them in an unheated garage or in an unheated shed. And since we're talking about bulbs, I have something really exciting to share with you. Longfield Gardens has decided to offer my viewers 20% off your entire bulb order with coupon code NORTHLAWN20. This won't apply to sale or bulk buys, but it will apply to everything else, including Amaryllis, and I double checked on that. So thank you so much to Longfield Gardens for that coupon code. 20% can really add up when it comes to buying Amaryllis. And I don't know if you have this problem, but whenever I pot up all of my Amaryllis or bring some out of dormancy, then I immediately feel this uncontrollable desire and need to buy more bulbs. It's like a really true addiction that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I probably have hundreds of bulbs at this point and I still want to buy more. I think there's just so many cool varieties to try. So I'd love to know what you like to put in your Christmas planters. Do you like to keep it simple? Do you like to just use what you have on hand? Or do you go all out buying lots of things from a florist? I love doing both, but this year I am making kind of a big investment on decorating the interior of the garden library. So when it came to outfitting these pots, I thought this was a good opportunity to save money, not spend any money at all on these pots, just enjoy what the garden gives us for free. So that's the update with these new pots. Now let me show you the river of Muscari that I have planted over in Grace's garden. Gracie, are you eating mommy's hat? Wait a second. Are you trying to get in game day mode? Okay, you can borrow my hat for the day. So over here in Grace's garden, I'm doing a river of Muscari. Well, actually, I should say I was originally going to do a river of Muscari, but I was running a little bit low on Muscari bulbs. So I decided to also add in some minnow daffodils, which is a short daffodil. I think it only gets about 8 inches tall. So you can kind of see how I've laid that out with the Muscari about, I would say maybe 2 to 3 inches apart. And then I'm still keeping the daffodils at about 6 inches apart. But since these are small daffodil bulbs, I can bury them about 4 inches down, and then I'll just cover this whole area up with compost. In our last video, we planted all of those beautiful purple and orange tulips. And what I've been doing this week is adding in mixes of alliums, hyacinths, and daffodils. So let me take you to a ditch that I've started, and I'll give you a close-up on how I like to space these bulbs. This is only part of the trench. I'm going to extend it further, but as you can see, I have the allium spaced about 8 inches apart, the daffodils 6 inches, and then I'm filling in with hyacinths that I plan to sell at the flower stand. And I feel like this is a great use of space because I've already dug this ditch, so I might as well fill it with as many bulbs as possible. And by clearing the hyacinth bulbs later on and using them as cut flowers to sell, then all these other perennial bulbs, the alliums and daffodils, will have the space that they need in the years to come. If I was going to also choose to treat the hyacinth bulbs as perennials, because they are technically speaking perennial bulbs, then I would want to give them more room. But the bulbs that I plan to treat as perennials are the alliums and the daffodils, so I'm spacing those at the appropriate distance, but I'm not worrying about the fact that I'm putting in those hyacinth bulbs in between them, because I'm going to clear those areas, sell those flowers, and then I've really maximized not only my planting area, but my planting time, right? I'm already digging this big ditch. I might as well stick some annual bulbs in there as well, or perennial bulbs that I plan to treat as annual bulbs. So I think what we're going to do now is head inside. We'll head down to the basement. We'll grab all of my white and red amaryllis and bring them out of dormancy. They've been in dormancy for about 2.5 months, so they're ready to come back up into the warmth and the heat and bloom for us again this holiday season. So after 2.5 months in the basement, the amaryllis leaves have completely died back. They're just shriveled up down there in their pots. So what we'll do is bring the pots back upstairs into a nice warm environment. We'll refresh the top of the pot with fresh potting soil, and we'll water them in really well to wake them up. If I want them to wake up as fast as possible, I want to get them as warm as possible. I want to put those bulbs on a radiator in the warmest room of my house. The warmer the bulb is, the faster it will wake up and the faster it will grow. I'm making slow and steady progress with these amaryllis. So far, I've got Picotee out of dormancy. That's a white amaryllis with a red line around the petals. Arctic Nymph is a beautiful double white amaryllis. A nymph is always going to be a little bit shorter, but I do find that the nymphs always seem to put on a lot of bloom stalks. Glee is a red and white amaryllis. Mont Blanc is white, but I would say it's almost white with a hint of green. Got some paper whites going here. I did those a few days ago. Showmaster is red and white. These ones are new. These aren't coming out of dormancy. These are double nymph. And then I have a red pearl for my husband because he likes that. And that red pearl is part of an experiment. So that's a new bulb. So I have 2 new red pearl amaryllis. I planted one up today with you, and I've been doing some research on how to wax an amaryllis bulb at home. So what I want to do with the other red pearl, which is also from Longfield, is I want to attempt to wax our own amaryllis bulb. It seems relatively easy, but I don't know. And then I just want to track their performance right next to each other, because I was really surprised that I liked growing amaryllis in wax last year. We had all of those waxed amaryllis from Amaryllis and Caladium Bulb Company. I ordered a lot more this year because I really liked them. Well, friends, I think that brings us to the end of today's video. I do have a special plan for how we're going to be using tons of amaryllis out here in the garden library, and I'll share that with you in, I think, about maybe 2 weeks' time. Now, I've been back and forth on whether I want to do Vlogmas or not. I've been doing YouTube for, I think, 4 or 5 years now, but I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I don't do it as my full-time job, but I absolutely love Christmas and I love Vlogmas. So I think I'm going to land somewhere in between Vlogmas and my regular type of content. I'm hoping to do probably 3 videos a week instead of 2. They're probably going to come out in the evening instead of the morning, because I think it's kind of nice now that it's getting dark so early to have something to watch in the evening. And these are all going to be vlogs. They're not going to be kind of like educational content. They're just going to be hanging out all day with me, but it's all going to be garden related because that's just what I like, and that's just kind of what I do naturally. So all those things and more to look forward to out here in the garden in the days ahead. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye, friends.